Hey kids, welcome back to Plantation Bay. As you can see on this transportation map here, I've done a little bit of stuff off screen. Mostly just kind of cleaning up transportation networks. I also cleaned up that new port terminal we built last episodes. I sort of cleaned that up and plugged it into the transportation network, and I'm going to show you guys all that. I wanted to put a name in here. Chong Chun Shang recommended that I name the area near the nuclear power plants I think he said the 3 mile zone, 3 mile commercial zone, in reference to a potential nuclear disaster, which I think is pretty funny. So I'm gonna go with that. Maybe I'll call it like 3 Mile Corner or something. But yeah. I'll show you what I've done. Let's load up Plantation Bay City first. One of the things I've done is I've extended the highway network into Plantation Bay City, just to the edge of the central city here. That's going to provide demand cap relief for commercial. So you can see right there. I just zoomed in on it right now. This is what I was calling like Metropolitan Avenue, and Metropolitan Avenue is going to sort of become a an expressway, just at the edge of the map here. And it's a bit cheesy, but it's basically what I'm doing there is when neighbor connections raise the commercial demand cap, so by putting a highway on the neighbor connection rather than an avenue, it'll just give me that much more of a demand cap. I'm actually going to be deleting this nuclear power plant because it's like super old. Yeah, it's 65%, so we've gotten a lot of use out of it. Looks like we've got some. We only need to get 8,000 capacity out of it. I'm probably going to replace it with like oil or something, but we'll see. Yeah, so let's drop that name. Maybe I'll put it like here, a couple blocks off. There we go. We can call it 3 Mile Corner. And yeah, let's delete this. And I might as well straighten this road and just adjust that zone. I'm going to show you what I did in the neighboring cities as well before we really get going with this. Although I might, you know, we clearly have some. We got to work on the road network here a bit. I'm not going to worry too much about that right now, though. So that's good. We'll just see. I don't think I did anything else in this city. That was the major change. I noticed there's some commercial demand here. I'm just going to run the clock a bit. Looks like we have a hospital. I did a little bit of adjusting the let's use up any commercial demand we can in this city. Looks like we're still. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, we're not getting much office demand. I think we're at a demand cap. To be honest, for this city, I think we are very much at a demand cap. I don't think we're going to get any more office development in this city until we have more neighbor connections. It might be a good time to actually build an airport, to be honest. Question is where. I was thinking. I think a good place for an airport is here, to be honest. And doing that is going to require us to build a bridge. We're finally going to have to put a bridge across this span. And I'm actually thinking of doing it like here. I'm actually thinking that this is the best place. I noticed that port is not really being used anymore. Oh, that's not so bad. It's getting used a bit. Yeah. Looks like this is not getting used yet, but it will. Once things update. It probably hasn't updated yet. Yeah, it hasn't updated yet. Let's move the clock forward a bit. The city is just super rich. Now we are getting a little bit of office demand, but I think that's probably just like things being abandoned and sort of being replaced. So Alright, let's take a look now at the traffic. Road traffic, yeah, okay, that's getting pretty heavily used. You'll notice that there's a lot of buses on the highway, and that's because of the way I have the NAM configured. I have it configured to that all highways automatically have bus lanes, and I'll probably keep it like that. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about it, because I feel like there's like too many buses. I feel like it should be like maybe a quarter of the traffic on the highway should be buses, rather than, you know, like 60% of the traffic. But clearly we have a pretty heavily used transit in the city. Looks like we're missing a couple bus stops. Might as well take a look at that while we're in this view here. Like, yeah, they're pretty sparse, my bus stops. Probably should have a little bit more. Interesting. Did I do anything else? I don't think I did anything else in this tile off screen. But maybe this episode we'll build a bridge. I think this is the best spot. I think this ferry needs to be moved. We've got a ferry there. We possibly don't even need this ferry. Oh, it's being used pretty heavily. But it's mostly being used from, yeah, this is very heavily used there. And this guy is being used somewhat as well. That ferry's in a reasonably decent spot. This one's not in a very good spot. This one may not be necessary at all, but I'll probably just keep it there. So at some point this bridge may become overcrowded, and just having the ferry option might not be such a bad thing, and it also gives people the option of traveling to other areas. This one's in a good spot. This one's in a very good spot. Would make sense to have another ferry somewhere else, I think. Maybe we'll move this ferry like over here, and we'll put a bridge. The span here is quite short, so we can put a bridge there. I mean, obviously, I'll want to be increasing the road network. Other things I want to do very soon in this map, I've noticed that this, I've actually got, are these two? Is that a train station there? I think I've got, what is this? Let's see here. No, I want this one. Yeah, there's a train station here that's getting a little bit of use. There's, oh my god, there's like a bunch of train stations down here. A freight station and another. This train station's not getting heavily used. I'm thinking at this point that this whole section of the rail, I'm considering condemning this whole section of rail down here. We're just not going to use it anymore. We're going to delete it, and that's going to give us a few more blocks to build in and allow us to kind of join up this street grid here. And then the rail will just go here. Because I don't think I'm going to put a rail bridge here. It would be nice to have a rail bridge to this city at some point, though. It would be nice. So, the question is, we want to do that here, maybe, or it's got to be one or the other, right? But I'm thinking that a highway bridge here would be a really good bet, and possibly a rail bridge there. Anyway, things to think about. I'm going to go next door and show you what I've done next door before we do any of that. But yeah, we can free up a lot of space just by condemning that section of the rail, and then we'll just have the rail here, kind of along the edge of town. And that's fine. That's sort of as the city evolves, it has different transportation needs. This was a freight rail line originally, right? And it's sort of turned into a passenger rail line, and it's still getting a little bit of use. I mean, we certainly, yeah, it's well used. We certainly want to be keeping rail access to the central city. And there's no doubt we will, as the transit lines get congested, as I increase the density of the city, we will start to need rail a little bit more. We kind of used it at the beginning. We used it at the beginning as a cheaper form of mass transits, and yeah, okay, we've got high density there. Yeah, we used it at the beginning as a form of cheaper transit, and now it's essentially, you know, because we have really good mass transit, it's a little bit less necessary. But again, you know, it will increase over time, especially as I densify some of these neighborhoods. Don't have any residential demand for now, though. We need to get more high tech going. Right. So, oh, I don't think I replaced that I don't think I replaced that power plant, which would be... That's weird, though, because I moved the clock forward, and maybe we just don't need it at this point. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, we definitely need another power plant, but we can probably get away with just using an oil power plant. Maybe I'll use a gas one. Maybe I'll just... I also... Another thing I did in this city is I don't know if I... No, I had already done that. Okay, so I moved all these power plants here. I'm just going to throw a gas power plant down. Get a little bit less pollution. And yeah, let's save again and go next door. I'll show you, I've done a lot of work in Inner Bay. And I think you guys will enjoy taking a look at that. By the way, with this Let's Play, like you'll notice I've been doing a little bit more stuff off screen. And you know, it's a balance. It's a balance. You know, maybe like I made a big highway interchange here. You're gonna see. And the thing is, what I'm trying to balance is I don't want to spend an entire episode working on a piece of transportation infrastructure, and that's the choice that I've made. I mean, you know, if you guys want, like, I could have done this in the Real Highway mod, and I may very well do a bit of that at some point, but I just didn't want to spend an entire episode just building this one highway. Maybe that's something you guys want to see. And by all means, leave a comment if that's how you feel. If you feel like, oh shit, I would have loved to have seen you do that. Well, you know, that's good for me to know. But I feel like I wanted to actually develop the city more. You know, develop the city more and have the city grow more in each episode rather than just working on the nitty-gritty of transportation. So anyway, one thing you'll notice right away, I've moved all of the power plants for this city over here. Yeah, this is kind of unsightly, to be honest. It's a little bit ugly, and I may rethink this at some point, but the city has a lot of money right now. Or it did, actually. It was up to 700,000, and I spent 400,000 on moving shit around in this city off screen. So anyway, that's just to give you a sense. So we've got 10 oil power plants there. I got rid of all the coal power plants in this city. And yeah, so let's take a look at the highway first. This I had all done last episode. I think, yeah, that I'd done as well. And that was there. This. So this connects up there. I basically because I turned the Metropolitan Avenue into a highway. It's an elevated highway here. Okay, and the elevated highway is really good for kind of central city. There's a couple of ramps here, and so yeah, the elevated highway. And I've made this huge exchange here. It's a kind of a good location, and then there's avenue on either side. Basically, I didn't find a good. This is something that Real Highway would do particularly well, to be honest. I didn't find a good interchange that has avenue crossing elevated highway at a diagonal, but I find this is a pretty good solution. So the avenue temporarily turns into a highway, and then it turns back into avenue here, and I think that's a pretty decent solution. And then here we have you can sort of, if you're driving on this avenue and you want to go over to this city, it's probably fastest to go this way. But it depends where you're going in the city. You can also take the avenue there. So I think that's a pretty good solution. The reason I don't just replace all of this with highways. I don't want the pollution. I want I really want the highway to be on the edge of town, and it just kind of has one highway going into the central city. So that's a quick route into the central city. Anyway, I think it's a pretty cool looking interchange. I know that the Real Highway interchanges do look cooler, and I've spent a little bit of time fooling around with them, and it is something I'd like to pursue at some point in the city. I just, you know, whenever I dive into Real Highway, it's just gonna like take over the life of the city for a long time, and there's just other stuff I want to do right now. So you know, don't think that I've kind of completely decided against it. But I think this is, you know, some of these interchanges using the vanilla textures are kind of cool. I mean, this is a pretty cool interchange. The vanilla interchanges, they're kind of ready-made ones, are also extremely tight. All of these lanes, these sort of multi-layered lanes and everything, they take up very, very little space, and it's actually kind of realistic in a certain sense, especially if you look at like the elevated highways or the sunken highways in like New York City. Like they can put a lot of highway capacity in a very, very tight space, and that's pretty hard to do with the Real Highway mod. Sometimes you know there's ways to do it, but these very, very tight and exit lanes, exit ramps, are very, very hard to create in this game. And yeah, ooh, we've got a lot of abandonment in this city. That's okay though. All right, now let's look at the rail. So there are 3 port terminals in this city, and they're quite large. We've got this. This was the first port terminal that we built, and it has it. This is not a functional rail connection, but I'm kind of pretending it is basically. They just, the way that the person who made this port mod made their port, this does not actually connect to rail. So I've just done that for, you know, fun essentially. And you can see that so what I've done here, let's actually zoom out because you're gonna want to see how I've changed this. So this has become a rail viaduct. This before I believe was ground rail, and there was like a big overpass here. And so I've turned this into a viaduct, and you can see that the whole port the port here basically has its own rail spur. So the viaduct, it's surface rail here, and then after this station, it goes under these overpasses. It becomes a viaduct, and then there's a spur here that goes under here, and this port does have a functional rail connection. This container port here, so you can see that the rail actually connects here, and it goes right through, and it comes out there, and that's functional. It functions like a freight station basically, and then it goes back up on the viaduct here, and then back down over here so that it can meet up. This is a new station I've built. This is one of these Boulevard Ninja Boulevard stations. So yeah, I've also narrowed this avenue there. Obviously I need to do a little, there's a few little zoning issues that I still haven't resolved, but you know, that gives you a sense. So then the rail continues over here on the surface, and I've also, this rail before was sort of, I think I had just deleted it, like it was a little bit lower down, so I've actually changed the whole course of this rail here, and it goes over here. There is a freight rail station there for that port, and it goes down here, and then this is ready for a neighbor connection there, which I haven't put in yet. But yeah, so you can see that the rail has been totally redesigned so that it can serve all of these port terminals. I think that's pretty cool. This port, again, is a very large port. I really like the look of this port. It does not have a rail connection built in, so I put a freight station there. Otherwise, in order to make all of this work, I had to bury part of the this used to be all L train. There was L train here, and there was a huge over here. There was like a huge kind of triangle of there was like a rail switch basically that plugged in that L train there, and then it forked off this way. And so you can see that I've buried a large section of Interbay's mass transit in subway. So we've got these are combination bus and metro stations, and so yeah, there's a subway system there, and the subway system connects to this station, and then it actually I've saved a lot of space by doing this. So rather than having this big elevated triangle type thing here with the switches, the subway basically comes above ground there, and then it also comes above ground here. So that's actually saved a lot of space. And you know, I still have this cool. This is also ready for a neighbor connection, so that's cool. And yeah, this was also this is a connection between the rail system and the mass transit. So there's a connection there, and there's a connection there, and I think that's pretty good. We only need kind of two rail connections there. So I think that pretty much sums up the major changes I've made. I think I'll run the clock in this city. I also have looked a bit at just the schools and sorted that all out. But yeah. So obviously this area here is something I want to fill up as soon as possible. let's run the clock a bit and just take a look at how demand is doing. Yeah, so because I'm getting office demand in this city, but not in Plantation Bay City, and that usually indicates that Plantation Bay City has hit a demand cap. And I think the best way for us to fix that at this point in time is going to actually be a an airport. I think that's going to be the easiest way. Getting a little bit of residential development here. We are above 500,000 in the regional population. Yeah, hopefully we won't use up all of that office demand. We probably will use up a bit of it, but there's sort of some of this waiting as well for some of this industry to redevelop. We can use up the medium industry. I want to build another port terminal for the city. I want at least one more, and I think it's going to go here. I think it's going to go maybe here. If we can find a port that fits nicely right here, and I can kind of flatten this out. I wanted to put another one in this deeper inlet here, but it's kind of awkward. I could extend this here and put it there. I could also put it there, but they don't work as well when they're near the edge of the city. Once I make all these neighbor connections, there's not as many people are going to be using these port terminals, right? So we're actually not at capacity for these ones, but so it may not build up very well, but there we go. Looks like we've used up most of the manufacturing, and yeah, and we built a bit more. We've built a bit more residential as well for the city. Well, we're sitting at about 100,000. So anyway, that's pretty cool. I wonder where I put the jail in the city. I just noticed that the we seem to be at capacity for our jail. Let's go to Public Safety Department. Ooh, we don't have a jail. Okay, I must have been. To be honest, I think I may have deleted it at some point, or never created it. That's pretty funny. Very funny. It's also possible that I just didn't have police stations in this city. An easy thing to forget. Question is, where do I want to put it? I kind of want to put it like here. I think this could be a cool spot for a jail. Kind of up against the water. Let's do it. And then I just need to go. I guess I'll just go in here and lower the funding for it. Always a good idea. Just like that'll be good. Right. So let's go next door. I know I'm doing a lot of hopping around lately. This city is at kind of a critical junction right now where we really need to pay attention to what's going on in the relationship between these three cities. What I'd like to do is develop these three tiles. 1, 2, 3. I know that this is a great place for a bridge, and it can connect up through Mount Auburn. I think there's going to be, and then I need to like extend the rail here. Might be interesting to create a rail bridge as well. Question is, see if I actually keep this rail, it's that might be the better way to do things. Maybe the highway bridge goes here, and the rail bridge goes here. That might be the better way to do things. So I don't think I haven't changed anything in Rob's River. But I want to get some more high-tech industry going. So let's go to Rob's River, use up the high-tech industry, and then we'll maybe work on some bridges in Plantation Bay City. Sorry. Right. So in order to do this, we're gonna need. We've got a little bit of high-tech demand here. Oh, or we can just wait and see if this may actually be enough industrial here to get that going. Oh, we're out of water. That's not good. Do I want to just put the big one at this point? I think it's probably worth it. Do we have the budget? Yeah, we do. Okay, let's just put the large water pump. And we'll just extend that road for now. And throw down one of these large water pumps. Are expensive. Yep. Yeah, we want to get an airport built for sure. Is that plugged in properly? Let's just double check. Yeah. What else? I don't think I've done anything else of note here. We can let some of the dense residential build up as well. It's always good. I think did I make this into a viaduct? Yeah, I made this into a viaduct as well. Just so that the street network. The point of all this is just to have the street network connect more smoothly. I like to have a totally grade separated rail system. I don't like all the level crossings. I'm pretty sure that it actually does have an effect in the game of you know, in terms of traffic. I think it just makes less, like, the rail crossings count as intersections, which increase commute time. But regardless, I don't. I just like to do it because I feel like it's you know, kind of immersion. All of this, I want to start to upzone some of this to medium density residential. Just a little bit at a time here. So let's do a bit of that, especially the parts that are close to the central city. There we are. It's looking pretty good. I'll do this one too. Leave that little corner. There will be more kind of suburban areas later, but this is all slated for medium residential rather than you know, suburbs, basically. Just use up this demand. Yeah, so we do have more demand for high tech, and this is looking pretty full. So with that in mind, what I need to do is get some ramps going here. This is kind of silly. Kind of want to redesign that. We've got a lot of money. We've got a fair amount of money anyway. Let's redesign this quickly here. Let's just do that, and oh, that should be connected there, like an intersection. Oh, nice. Okay. So that actually lines up perfectly, and that's actually going to make it better for ramps as well, to not have that big L shape there. I think I also, like, this road here, I've also adjusted. It used to be this big kind of jaggedy thing. I've completely deconnected the trash from the road network so that all of the garbage for the city is not going there. So there you go. Now I think the best way to connect this up, maybe we'll make some kind of roundabout structure here. Let's kind of do this for now. And that should probably be, this whole thing should probably be, oh, we'll see. Yeah, what I'd like to do is something like this. Yeah. And let's put in one of these guys. So just got to zoom in so I can actually see that we're doing the right thing here. I might just have to do it. It's very hard to tell. I think that's good. There we are. This honestly, this is basically an off-ramp at this point. It's a T intersection for a highway, but I'm using it as an on-ramp. That's one of the ways I like to do things. All right, so let's see if we can make an some kind of avenue intersection work here. So we've got the choice of a roundabout. That could be a good one. Like that'll probably work, to be honest. Just have to adjust that road a bit. It's probably not a bad idea. Yeah, this one will have to veer over. Yeah, no, okay, this one needs to be adjusted. So it just needs to jog over one one tile, so we'll connect it there. Oh, it's going to be a bit tricky. Oh yeah, no, there we go. That's fine. I'm fine with that. Of course, I could just redo this so it's straight, but yeah, I'll think about it. Question is, maybe I'll just have this one go. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that, because if they want to go this way, they can just go into the roundabout and then just loop around. Same thing on this side here, or not. Oh, no, that works. Oh, that's gonna make it ugly though, isn't it? Oh no, it's not great, but it's not the end of the world. It's only visible if we zoom right in. Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's a really cool, that's a pretty cool roundabout. I like it. Awesome. We probably need, well, I think that's probably good for now, to be honest. I think that's probably good for now. So let's take, I'm just looking at the road grid here. It's probably fine. Let's take a street like here, and we'll fill in this whole corner with high tech. Yeah, I'll start with this side of the highway. I'm not gonna. I'll develop this at some point as well, but I'm kind of hoping to fill in this for the time being. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. We can just kind of space things out like this, and maybe like that. Put in the high density. Yeah, we definitely need an airport in Plantation Bay City. I'm probably going to put parks along the edge of the highway, because I noticed the last time that the pollution from the highway is substantial. So we'll do something like this. Basically just a grass, sort of decorative, almost. Like that. Just kind of give that little bit of a buffer zone there, and also provides parks for all of this. Let's make sure it's got water. It does not. We can probably, at this point, we can probably fill in this whole section here with water. Maybe we can make it work here. There we go. Yep, looks good to me. Kind of reserving this for more residential, I think, but we'll see. See if we can use up that high-tech demand. Has it got fire and police? Pretty much. Yeah, I'll build more of those stations when... definitely need one here, that's for sure. Large fire station, where is it? Maybe... Okay, that's going to be a small one, I think. Let's just cover off this whole area. There we are. And then we'll put a small one here. Maybe like this. It's fine. There we are. And let's look at crime. Yeah, same thing. Same thing. Where is it? Large police station here. And then a small police station here. Oops, not that one, this one. Basically works. It's not perfect, but it does the job. There's a tiny little corner there that's not covered. But I'm not going to worry about that. That's fine. There we go. And let's let this develop. Yeah, this is great. Nice big buildings. Do we need more? We might need more. Alright, educators strike. I'm not too worried about that. Is all this this medium developing? Almost. Yeah. Okay, good. We've basically got more residential zones ready to go there. Oh, we're running out of power. That's important. Alright, I've got those 3 stations there. This city is like making a ton of money now, so I think it's going to be time to switch to oil. You'll see, you know, you might be asking yourself, oh, you've got all, you know, these cities are so rich, why aren't you switching to, like, the more expensive power plant types? And you will see very quickly, if I throw down a bunch of, like, you know, solar power or like, $10,000 can easily be spent on expensive power plants, in terms of the monthly cost of them. So until I'm satisfied that I've got all the infrastructure I need in these cities, I'm not going to switch them over. I will, though, at some point. I will replace them with the you know, the environmentally good ones. Let's see here. Large medical center. Everything else looks fine. Just increase this. Oop, that high school is going to need to be replaced. There we go. There's a couple of weird ones here. It's this one here that's over capacity. Take a look at education. High school there. And is there a big high school in this city? That's what needs to happen. You know what? I'll deal with that. I'll deal with that off camera. I don't. It's fine. You know, I don't think at this point in this Let's Play, I'm not sure how interesting it is to watch me fiddle with education. Okay, so we're gonna need more high tech essentially, and I'm gonna do a similar kind of thing here. I think we may want to put a diagonal road that crosses that highway at some point. We'll see. We will see. We certainly need access back here. This may turn into a cloverleaf is what might happen. We will see. I'm not going to focus on building out here for the time being. What I want to do is something like this. But not a road or the street. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I don't know what's going on there. Oh, I see. No. Actually, let's just do this. Just extend that straight there. That should probably actually be a road. Here we are. And I'm not going to build all of that, but I will just build another kind of triangle here. It's a little bit ugly in some ways, but once this is all filled out, you won't notice this weirdness here as much. Once we've actually zoned this, it's not as apparent. You know, these are the limitations of the four-sided grid. It's just how it is. You know, there's not much that can be done. Let's connect this up there. Right, and then we need to do a similar kind of thing here. Something like this. And we'll put down those parks. Okay. That's fine. Make sure there's water. There we are. Oh, nope, one more. Okay. High density industrial. Oh, I haven't put any bus stops here. Damn. Okay, gotta do that for sure. That's definitely gotta happen. Thankfully it's industrial, so I don't have to redo all the zones every time I put bus stops in. Yeah, we definitely need... Oh, there's bus stops here already. It's just here. Okay, and then like there, there, there. That's got a bus stop. We need one here, here, here. I'm not sure there's buses here, to be perfectly honest, but that's not the end of the world. Should probably put one at least near this train. Oh, that's a bus stop. Okay. I'll put one here and here. And we're good. Let's go. Hopefully this will develop. I might have to give it police and fire if it doesn't. No, it's good. The parks just do the job. Man, it is. There is just so much demand for high-tech industry. I think we'll leave it at this, though. Oh, man. I think we'll leave it at this. Let's go see if we can't get, we can't increase the demand cap next door. The demand cap for office is affected by, essentially, it's reduced by these highway connections, but it's also reduced by, it's also reduced by things like airports and stuff like that. So there are things we can do to reduce it for sure. Yeah. Anyway, we're starting to have a little bit of more structure here. Certainly, I can zone more residential. I'm kind of waiting till some of this densifies, but yeah, we'll be densifying this. Let's go back to Plantation Bay City and see what we can do. Because yeah, we're definitely hitting some kind of demand cap for commercial office here. I think that's probably what's going on. Let's just click. Oh, maybe not. I'm surprised. And maybe we just needed to. Yeah, it gets filled up very quickly though. The office towers offer a lot of jobs, so it does get very quickly used up. We also have very little residential demand here. We may need to put some high tech in this city, and this may be the area to do it. So, let's see, maybe I can... Let's start by moving this ferry and putting it over here. Maybe here. In fact, there's space. There's space right here. If I just do this... Look like this, and then maybe like this. Just make an intersection here. That was remarkably painless. Okay, and then let's do this. And I think we need to have this be an avenue, to be honest. At least connect it there, and then... Well, it's supposed to be a highway. Yeah, okay. Just looking at the road network. Oh, we're doing a rail bridge. Fuck, what am I thinking? Okay, so this is easy then. Let's get rid of this. We've got... This station is completely unnecessary. So, what I want to do is... basically drag... This is also industrial. I don't really mind... don't really mind... let's build the bridge first. I don't really mind deleting the... So this is where the bridge is going to be, I think. Like here. This is kind of the shortest span. I don't mind dragging through some of this. Okay, so that's kind of what we're aiming for. Let me see here. We can raise the terrain on this side. Rail bridge. Yeah, rail bridge would be good. Then we will build a highway bridge on the other side. Let's flatten this a bit. Hopefully that's not insane in terms of the grade. Okay. I'm just going to drag this across so I can figure out So I can figure out where it takes us on this side. Okay, that works. Let's raise this terrain here. Flattened a bit. Oh, I hit the wrong button there. There we go. Don't know if that's actually doing very much. Come on. Need to actually pay attention to what I'm doing here. Okay. I hope I've lined that up reasonably well. Yeah. Alright. It's kind of hard to tell with such a long span. More or less. Not quite. We can raise it a bit. What happens if we do this? It's still too low for ferries. Okay, I definitely need to work on that. There we go. Where is it? Here. There we go. Starting to be looking a little bit better. Is that good for ferries? Yes! Awesome. Now let's take a look at what bridge we want. Should probably look at the other bridges in the city to see what we already have. That's kind of cool. Rail bridge. What is this? Warren Under Truss Rail Bridge. Under Truss. What have we got over here? We've got a sort of Brooklyn-style bridge over there. We've got that one. I don't think we have the Under Truss one. Not that it really matters if there's two bridges that use the same. How does that actually look? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. It's got a kind of 19th century look to it. Look at the shadows of those helicopters. It's kind of cool. Something you never notice. Right. So we have a rail connection. Finally, a bridge connection to this side of the river. Question is, where do I want to go with this? I think let's start by just connecting it here, to be honest, and I can redesign it later. I think it would make sense to have rail running along here, and this is going to be a highway bridge here, which I think we may want to build this episode as well. One thing I can do right away is put a rail station here, and that's going to allow us to expand this side of the city. Yeah, I like that. I'm glad we decided to do a rail bridge into the central city, and then let's connect this up. Basically, I just want to draw a straight line from the end. Oof, what's going on there? Oh god, I'm gonna have to redo that bridge. What the fuck happened here? Oh, I just didn't drag it far enough. Okay, thankfully we got lots of money. Oh no. That's not good. Boy, is it annoying to do this, to build bridges in this game. What if I lower this a bit? Is it too high? It's just, I find it very, very difficult to tell. Like, there's just no way for me to look over here and then look over there and get, like, I can't, like, query the tile and get the grade or anything, which is really, really very frustrating. I know that there are tools to do the grade. Yeah, I guarantee that. Okay, that's. What did we decide? We decided the Warren Under Truss. Where is it? Where is it? Okay, it's actually the bridge that's the problem. Let's change to a different design. Plate girder. STR bridge. How truss rail bridge? Will that work? Let's try it. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, cool. And it's kind of a silly grade there, but let's just check the other side to make sure it doesn't look crazy there. No, it looks fine. I think this is higher. I think that's what's going on. This is higher than the other side. So this just needs to go diagonally over. Let's delete that. And we'll have to fix the road network as well, obviously, but that's okay. There's a park in the way. I can go like this, and then through here, and then like this. And then I'll do some work on the road network. Get rid of those level crossings for sure. This can be a road like that. There we are. For the time being, I'll just do this. We may turn this into a viaduct. I think a viaduct is going to be a good solution. I said I was going to get rid of the rail down here, but I think this is a very compelling reason to have the rail come down here. Very compelling reason to have the rail come down here is a rail bridge, and I like it. I like the idea. We have really cut off a huge section of the city here, and that is going to have an impact. Yeah, we'll come up with like maybe this road here will have a, maybe I can do an overpass there or something. Anyway, I'm not going to focus too much on that. It's mostly industrial and a handful of office towers, and we've got all sorts of unused office development anyway. But that's looking pretty good to me. That's good. Now we want to get an airport. It's probably the last thing I'm going to do this episode is get an airport going. So let's get a highway. I'm going to use the ground highway, and we'll get a highway bridge going. Just take a look at where that lands us, like there. Ooh, that's a cool bridge. So I can raise the terrain here. It's going to be a very big bridge. I'm going to go for the sort of Golden Gate style bridge here. There we are. Let's take that and drag it over. Okay. Like there. Yeah, there's those like digger tools that come with the network add-on mod that allow you to much more precisely change the grade of the terrain, but I don't really use them that often, and I think it would probably take a bit more time even if it yielded a slightly better result. Okay, I'm fine with that. Now we need to look at what bridge we want. That's good enough for ferries. I'd like to do this one. How does that look? That to me looks nice. I think that to me looks decent for sure. It'd be nice if I could like tunnel under this big lump there. Yeah, it's on 100,000 simoleon bridge. Golden Gate. Yeah, we'll do a Golden Gate for sure. If we're gonna have that long span, I think it's a good idea. Yeah. Okay. Now the question is, what's the best way to plug it into the road network over here? And we will find a way. We will find a way for sure. Where are we here? So I'm gonna first though just connect it to the neighboring city. Like that. Just build an over. I'm not gonna. What's going on here? Maybe it's too close to the bridge. Nope. There we go. Just do that for now. I don't need a ramp. I will. For the time being, I think I'm just going to do a kind of a sloppy avenue connection like this. Like this. Thank you. And I will obviously connect it better. What I want to do is get that airport built, though. Oh, I see what's going on here. This is a mess. Again, I will fix all this, I promise. Oh, there's there we go. I will fix all of this. That's a promise. I know that's ugly, but I'll fix it. And there we go. So we've got it. We've got a bridge now. We've got a bridge across this the Plantation Bay, essentially 2 bridges, and that's looking pretty good. Let's now build an airport. And I'm kind of wondering, my temptation is to start small, like with the small landing strip, and see if it, see if we kind of use up the capacity of that, and then to upgrade it. We can reserve this whole area. How big? Let's take a look at how big the international airport is. Yeah, so we can fit any airport size we want here. And let's plan on building the largest possible airport in this tile. So let's start with this small landing strip. And I think the best way to do this, let's plop it down there. It's just kind of fun to watch it grow, to be honest. It's not so much that I think that we can't afford to build the big one or whatever. It's just I find it fun to sort of watch it grow naturally and stuff. There we are. All we need to do is attach it to the power and maybe some water. Do we have water on this side of the... Oops. We don't have... We have water over here, obviously. Okay. Let's... take this over here. Might as well put these in the water network now. There we are. So that's cool. Obviously, I'll upgrade this to like a boulevard, and this avenue will be really well plugged into that highway network there. And then I'll fix the other end here and figure out. Essentially, I'm thinking what I want to do is just kind of create like just cross the this whole Hotville area with a boulevard. I think that's what's going to make sense. I just don't want to do it. I don't want to do it on camera because it's going to take a while. It's going to be messy. But yeah, let's see how this airport fares. I don't think I've broken anything. Have I broken anything? Yeah, no. There's just they just want more. They just want better hospitals. Airport expansion, yes. If we use this up right away, airport expansion, yes. We might go straight to the small municipal one. I don't know if there's another... Is there another large landing strip? Monthly maintenance, max capacity 122400. I was actually poking around in SimCity 3000 the other day. I'm kind of considering doing a few videos on that. And one thing I'll say is I actually miss zoning airports rather than having these ploppable airports. I actually found that zoning airports and ports was a really cool way to approach things, and I think it'd be really cool if there was a growable zone for airports and... Whoa. What just happened? Come on, small municipal airport. There we go. Should probably upgrade the road connection into an avenue. I thought it was really cool to zone ports and airports, and I thought that was a really great way to get around, these weird growable lots. Yes, convention center we will build eventually. Should probably look at some of those rewards at some point. And... okay. Interesting. Just watching the capacity here. Man, this city is rich. Right. Well, the population's been stable at about 300,000 for the last little while. So I think that's the size of airport we needed. We've built the smallest airport for the capacity that we need, and I think that's what we need. We will of course replace it with the international one when it gets big enough. But I'm going to try and I'm going to see. I like to experiment with these kind of things. I want to see if we can fill the capacity of the municipal one before we actually upgrade it. And we may or may not be able to. It may not be possible. It may not be possible in this tile, or it may be very difficult in this tile. But yeah, so that's pretty cool. I like this new rail connection. Definitely got to do something about connecting up the city a bit better, and I think what's going to really make sense is burying a bit of this L train and putting a rail viaduct. I think that's what's probably going to make the most sense, is to turn some of this inner city rail into a viaduct, even over here. I just don't think... I think we need more road connections between the different parts of the city. One of the annoying things about the viaduct is that it won't connect to neighboring cities. So that's something I'll have to contend with. But yeah, ooh, look at this. That's very cool. That's very cool. Got kind of an Art Deco office complex here. Let's make that historical so we can keep those two towers there. Yeah. Yeah, so this could be, we could sort of start the viaduct maybe here, and then drag a viaduct all the way through here. This can all be viaduct. Should work, yeah. And then that will just be a level road. Yeah, should be no problem to have all this be viaduct. The only thing that we're going to lose is this train station, which I wonder if it's actually being used. Not really. Oh, a little bit. Maybe the viaduct can end... I don't know if we can end a viaduct in diagonal. Probably. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Just as a side note, these kind of ground level train stations, they do work if they're placed beside a rail viaduct, but it looks really stupid. It looks really stupid, and I just kind of refuse. It's just not. I'm not about that. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it for this episode. I don't want to do too much. I wanted to mostly show you guys what I'd done and get some of this major infrastructure in. I think before, though, let's just go take a look at the regional view and think about what we're going to be doing with these new cities. I want to remind you guys that I need names, guys. Like, this does not have a name, so submit names in the comments, please. I need to do that. And name cities. I also need names for these 3 tiles. If nobody suggests names, I will be naming these. I'm not going to wait around. Yeah, so I think it makes sense, perhaps, to just have a highway here and maybe a rail line kind of closer in. I think that makes sense. There's not really any... We can't connect these 2 tiles directly, and that's fine. But I think the rail will loop around here, and there'll be a spur there, and then it will go straight that way. And then the highway will loop around and kind of do a similar thing. Go out here, there'll be another highway bridge there. And around the back. We'll have a highway that kind of goes there. This highway is also going, when we decide to build that tile, this highway will go up here. Also this rail line as well. So I think that's looking pretty good. I could also extend this rail here, but I think it's better. I think it's just as useful to do it this way. Anyway, so that's we're starting to see, to get a better sense of the profile of the whole area. I want to build a new port. Next episode, I want to build a new port terminal in Inner Bay, for sure. A 4th and final port terminal. So there'll be 1 terminal there, and 1, 2, 3, 4 terminals there. And I think that's pretty decent. Maybe there'll be another terminal here or something. It could be kind of cool. We'll see. Doesn't really make sense, though. I think a terminal there will be good. And yeah, and then we're gonna start to at least loop that rail around here and start to flesh out what the edge of the city is going to look like to the south. We can also build up this area as well eventually. Maybe think about some kind of transit solution. I mean, obviously we've got the rail there, so that would probably be... We can probably build along this rail line there. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and then subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. And please submit names. Please submit names for cities. I will be naming these 3 if I don't receive names. These 3 tiles, probably, maybe next episode. So, thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. Ciao.